another poem that I can't remember the name of it right now. It's We Shall Keep the Faith. And then the last copy is the lyrics to the song by Terry Kelly called Pittance of Time. Okay, so my speech today, I'm going to get so welled up and this is horrible. I also have some strep throat going on, so I'll try to drink and be as not coughing fitting as I should be over the weekend, I found out. Okay, so why should respect be shown to people in the Canadian Armed Forces? Well, in my opinion, there are many reasons. And my opinion is my right. It is my right, thanks to the people who serve in the Canadian Armed Forces. I'm so nervous today. I feel that there are more and more people showing less and less appreciation towards the soldiers today, and that could be due to the fact that it is very easy for us to take advantage of the high level of rights and freedoms that we have. Also the security that the soldiers will always be there, around the corner, come to us whenever we need them. But what if we didn't have the safety of those rights and freedoms? So there are countries, unfortunately, that don't have those rights and freedoms. So our soldiers, as upstanding as they are, will go to other countries to fight for those rights and freedoms. Just the fact that citizens can and do choose to fight with the Canadian soldiers, to fight for what is considered as wrongdoings, amazes me. It amazes me the courage that it takes for them to put their lives on the line. In fact, just over the last 10 years alone, we have had soldiers in Macedonia, Afghanistan, Senegal, Congo, Liberia, Iran, Haiti, Sudan, Bosnia, Sri Lanka, Gaza, USA, Pakistan, West Bank, Myanmar, Burma, Haiti, Kuwait. They are still in Kosovo and they are still in Croatia. And that's just doing peacekeeping and humanitarian observing with the UN. From 1948 to 2006, the Canadian Armed Forces had 114 fatalities just in missions with the UN. That is second only to India. India had 118. We have had over 120,000 Canadians serve in more than 50 missions with the UN. The Canadian Armed Forces has a team that's called DART. DART stands for Disaster Assistance Relief Team. They deploy Navy and assist the U.S. with aid for Hurricane Katrina. DART has helped with Haiti and post-hurricane and earthquake aid as well. Whenever there is a state of emergency called, DART is able and capable to deploy with food, purified water, and heavy equipment to assist in any way that it is needed. They also evacuate Canadian personnel globally during times of conflict. We have Navy teams patrolling both of our coasts for illegal drugs and illegal human trafficking. They also team up with other navies to the Caribbean for the same purpose. This has directly prevented thousands of drugs hitting our streets. We have a Joint Task Force 2 who's responsible for the anti-terrorist units that we have across Canada. This was once responsible with the RCMP. We also have search and rescue technicians with the armed forces that not only do search and rescue off our coasts, but they do rescuing in isolated areas in communities all over Canada. Annually, the Canadian Armed Forces has raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for the United Way, assisting local charities and meeting the needs of communities. And Colonel James Riley is responsible for starting the Military Police Fund for Blind Children. It was founded in 1957. This is a not-for-profit charity. There are no paid employees. They're all volunteers with the Canadian military. At every police military unit, regardless of size or National Geographic location, you will find a Blind Fund representative responsible for the coordination and organizing of fundraising activities and identifying the needy children or organizations. Money is raised in Canada as well as on all military missions around the world. All military police and partners are extremely proud of this charity. It is the only military charity in Canada. Just recently, our armed forces sent aid to Newfoundland, sending engineers to build bridges to the isolated communities with extreme flooding periods. When Kelowna had their wildfires, our soldiers were there. When the ice storms hit Quebec, they were there as well, lending aid to clear the roads and provide the power back. Manitoba got flooded, our soldiers were there filling sandbags and helping all the communities in any way they could. The military is constantly on call and making preparations for the next natural disaster, our borders, and will never fail in responding when needed. While I was talking to Warrant Officer Terry Vandenberg, I asked him what his thoughts were on my topic, and he said, I quote, "We don't ask to be put on a pedestal, nor do we seek fame and notoriety. We merely seek acceptance for doing our job and respect for our fallen brothers. We choose to serve Canada and our fellow Canadians and are willing to pay the ultimate price in her name. As soldiers, we do what has to be done." In fact, it was a Canadian soldier by the name of Lieutenant Colonel Macquarie who wrote, "In Flanders fields, the poppies blow, between the crosses, row on row, that mark the place, and in the sky, the larks, still bravely singing, fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours, hold it high. If you break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep. The poppies grow in Flanders fields." And the reason why we wear poppies is because of the poem "We Shall Keep the Faith," written by the American Moira Michael in 1918. "O you who sleep in Flanders fields, sleep sweet, rise anew. We caught the torch you threw, and holding high, we keep the faith with all who died. We cherish, too, the poppy red that grows on fields where valor led. It seems to signal to the skies the blood of heroes never dies. But lend us luster to the red of the flower that blooms above the dead in Flanders fields. And now the torch and poppy red we wear in honor of our dead, for not that ye have died for naught, will teach the lesson that ye wrought in Flanders fields." So I ask you, fellow classmates, on the 11th hour of November 11th, stop where you are. If you're driving, pull over. Lower your heads. Pay your 2 pittance of time. Remember all the Canadians who we lost in serving in her hour of need.